Morning, Rabbi.
Hello, hello. Good morning. Good morning. A minute or so.
Morning.
Morning. Good morning. How's everyone doing? Chag Sameach. Sameach to everyone.
Everybody's good, thank God.
Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem. Okay, just wait another minute or two. Let some people come on. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
Nice to see you, Basil, Helga, Arlene, Eddie, and
Hello.
welcome, welcome. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you all too.
Live, yeah.
I thought there was a mistake and there wasn't going to be one today.
Yeah, it's a funny time because it's the middle of the Yontif, but whatever.
Yeah.
It's Chol HaMoed. So,
Right, sure.
learning never stops.
The better the day, the better the deed.
That's right. Yeah. Okay, so we'll wait another minute or so. So let's see if we get a few more views on. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, just another 30 seconds and we're starting. Okay, ready, set, go. Okay, so we're going to continue on the conversation we had yesterday about the Kabbalah of Oneness, the Kabbalah of Sukkot. And we were speaking about the concept of Hashem Echad, God is one. And the Jewish principle of Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. The hero Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is one. And we're going to talk a little bit to the fact that oneness is really the key to human happiness. When we believe in one God, that's really the key to being a happy person. But first, the story of a fellow named Harry, Jewish fellow who was a very good actor, and the industry was going through a challenging time, and Harry couldn't find himself a job. He's trying to find a job as an actor. He put into the newspapers everywhere for some kind of gig, and he couldn't find anything. Then one time someone calls him up and says, "We're looking for an actor. Are you an actor?" He says, "Yeah, famous actor, Harry. Harry Cohen, very famous actor." So he says, okay, so he tells him, come over. He comes over to this place, he gives a look, it's the zoo. He comes in, he says, "I'm an actor. Well, why'd you invite me to an audition in the zoo?" So they said, "Well, the economy is very tough, and the zoo is going through difficult times. And we also having challenging times, and we can't buy live animals, very expensive. So we thought maybe we can get an actor, and the actor, we need a monkey. And we thought maybe if you're a good actor, you can act like a monkey. We'll give you a monkey suit." Well, times were tough. So Harry said, I'll do what it takes to make a living. So they gave him the monkey suit. In the morning, he goes into the monkey cage and he starts doing all the monkey antics, and the people start roaring. They're laughing at this guy, this monkey, funniest monkey ever, and jumping from here to there, one tree to another. And he's an actor. He's acting like a monkey. Everybody tells their friends, and the next day more people start coming, and all the kids are coming, and they hear about this, the funniest monkey ever, and they start coming one day after another, and mamish gewaldig, and the stocks of the zoo started to go up, and people started coming, and the whole industry, the zoo that was a dead zoo started to become a famous zoo. Everybody, even more than the Bronx Zoo, started coming by the droves. People were coming to the zoo. And every day the kids would come and look at Harry jumping up and down. They didn't know it was Harry. They thought it was a real monkey jumping up and down. And he was doing such antics that one day he made such a double, triple flip that he flipped right over the fence. And he landed in the cage of the lion. Oh, this is Harry. This is the end. He says, I'm finished. He gives a look. He sees this ferocious looking lion over there standing in the middle of this cage. And he's like there, and he's shivering, and he doesn't know what to do. So what does a Jew do when he's in big trouble? What does a Yid do? Shema Yisrael. He says, just as he thinks the lion's about to pounce on him and eat him up to pieces, he gives a geshrei, he gives a scream out, Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. And the lion responded, Baruch Shem Kivod Machuto Li'alam Va'ed. The lion was also also an actor. And then the bear from next door gives a scream at both. They said, both you keep quiet over there or we'll all get fired. Anyway, so this is the story of, but we know that when a Jew is in trouble, even a Jew makes believe, and he makes believe he's something else, a time of need, what does he scream out? He screams out, Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. Hashem is one. This is the story of Harry. But it's an important story. It's an important story because with Jews, we have the principle of Hashem Echad. And we're speaking about the Kabbalah of creation. That in creation, before the world was created, Hashem was one. And after he created the world, the universe, the cosmos, now suddenly it almost seems like there's two. There's God and now there's a world. So that's why it is so important for us to understand, no. The only real existence is Hashem. Hashem is the only independent existence. Everything else is dependent on God. So even though it appears that there are different forces in the world, but when we think about Hashem, and we recognize that really deep down, everything is created by God. So really there is only one. And like I was saying, that really this is the key to happiness. Why are people unhappy? We're unhappy because we have like different parts of our life that sometimes contradict each other, and that causes us to be unhappy. We're sort of schizo people, we have different parts of us. One part of us pulls us towards God, another part of us pulls us towards materialism. So that itself creates a lot of anxiety and running after making a lot of money. That's another form of anxiety. Different issues we have with our families, with our kids, with our parents, there's always different forces in this world that make us anxious and not happy. So what is the key to happiness? Key to happiness is to bring unity to the world. When we know that everything is part of a master plan, and everything belongs to Hashem, and the world is part of one big picture, and whatever happens to us is for a reason, because it's all one. It's one. There's one force in this world. There's not many forces in this world. There's only one Hashem. But we know there's one Hashem, that brings happiness to us. And we were speaking about it in Shul this week as to the festival of Sukkot, which we're in right now. So we know that the Rosh Hashanah is a time of oneness of Hashem, right? We declare the sovereignty of God. So that's the holiday of one Hashem, right? We come to Shul, we say Hashem Echad, Hashem is one. On Yom Kippur also, how do we end the holiday? The last prayer we say, I say Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokim, Hashem Echad. We say Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. We say Hashem Hu Elokim. Hashem is Elokim. It's the same. There's one force, there's one power in the world. And that's what happens on Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. We dedicate ourselves, we focus ourselves on the God that's in the world and the God that's within us. That's what Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur is about. It's a time of self-introspection to realize the oneness of Hashem. But then comes Sukkot. And Sukkot, we say, is the festival of happiness. The festival of Zman Simchotenu. Joy which comes after Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. So after Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, after we have established that there is only one God in this world, then comes Sukkot, and we sort of spread that message to the rest of the world. You know, one of the big Jewish dreams is that the whole world should be one. Not just the Jewish people should be one people of God, under God, but the entire world should be a world of oneness. As we say, God will be the king of the whole universe. Bayomahu, on that great day, Yi Hashem Echad, Ushmo Echad. And then, you know that song, right? That there'll be that's a verse from Zechariah, that Hashem will be not only the God of the Jewish people, but he'll be one God of the whole world. God will be the God of the entire universe that will bring the oneness of the Jewish people to the entire world. And that's what the festival of Sukkot is. Sukkot is we take it sort of to the next phase. It's a time that we express the oneness of God into the entire world. And how's that? We know that on Sukkot, they used to bring 70 sacrifices in the Holy Temple. There were 70 bullocks that were sacrificed on the festival of Sukkot. On the 7 days of the festival of Sukkot, the first day they sacrificed 13 bullocks. The second day, 10 bullocks. A bullock is like a bull. Right? Third day was 11 bullocks. The fourth day, today, which was the fourth day of the holiday, was 10 bullocks. Yeah, 13, 12, 11, 10, and it goes down all the way till 7 on the seventh day. So altogether, you have 70 bullocks that were brought. Why is the number 70? Why are we sacrificing 70 sacrifices on Sukkot? Again, it's the same idea that we take the oneness of God and we spread it out to the 70 nations of the world. We all know that there are officially, according to the Torah, there are the 70 nations. That's the United Nations, right? It's called the United Nations, even though we know that the only thing that the United Nations is united for is in its condemnation of Israel. It's the only thing, actually think of it, that's the only thing that's actually, united the entire world. Russia and China and all these guys, all the other rogue states that are out there, North Korea and all these Chevron and Iran, they're all part of this United Nations. What are they united for? They're united to condemn Israel, right? When they're attacking Kiev and Ukraine, nobody has anything to say about it, right? Where's the world? Like, well, where's the United Nations? That's what it is. But when it comes to Israel, everybody joins together. But be as that may, we as Jews, we still have that mission. That's our mission statement. Our mission statement is to bring the Echad of Shema Yisrael. Hear Israel, the Lord is our God, the one God. Hashem Echad, we also want that it should be the one God of the entire world. As we say, it'll be on that great day that the oneness, the one God of Israel will be the one God of the world, which will unite the entire world under like one banner, one mission. So on the holiday of Sukkot, after the Jews have come out of their synagogue, the Rosh Hashanah and Kippur, we've established the oneness with God. Now we take this oneness of God and we go on a mission. We want to bring the whole world in on this. Everybody should want to enjoy this oneness of God. And so we go to the 70 bullocks, the 70 nations of the world, and we bring them into the holy temple, and we say that my house will be a house of prayer unto all the nations. So we symbolically unify the 70 nations of the world with our rituals on Sukkot. So Sukkot is the holiday of oneness. It's a holiday of oneness because everybody goes into a one sukkah and the sukkah surrounds us all. That also reminds us of oneness. And one of the biggest things that remind us of oneness is the four kinds, the four species that we take on Sukkot. We all know the four species of Sukkot. What are they? Okay, so we'll show you a little, we'll just go through this a little bit. Over here, the four species that we take on Sukkot, everybody knows the lulav and esrog, right? Well, so here we go. I have a fresh esrog here for you all. So here's an esrog. We got the esrog. The esrog is a citron fruit. It's like a cousin of the lemon, but it's not a lemon. A lemon is not kosher. It has to be a citron fruit, an etrog. There you go. See? Okay. It's a little bit brown because a lot of people use this esrog, but all the kids in Torah Tots use this one, so that's why I love brown. But it's supposed to be nice and yellow, right? So that's what we go, yellow, or some of them are maybe a little greenish, but it's not completely ripe yet. So we have that. Okay. Can you guys see me? I'm seeing myself a little bit blurry. See me? Okay, good. Okay, fine. And then, so you have the etrog, which is the citron fruit. So again, the four species are to remind us of all the different kinds of people of the world and to bring them together in unity. So you have this, you have the citron, then you have the lulav. Okay, we'll talk about the lulav a little bit. I'll get to these plants a little bit in a while from now to tell you a little bit more about that. But first, I'm going to tell you a little bit about this lulav. Now, the lulav is a palm frond. It's a frond. Why is it a frond? It's like a branch from the palm tree, but it's not a branch really. It's really made up of a bunch of leaves. See, frond is made up of all these different leaves. They're like they're palm leaves, right? And they come together, they grow like this. Eventually they open up like a broom, right? And they turn into leaves. But when they grow as a frond. Frond is like a bunch of leaves that are tight and together. So here you go. This is called the lulav. Okay, you got the lulav there. Now I'm going to tell you a little about the lulav. The lulav is, as we said, is the leaves of the palm tree. Right? Palm date tree is quite a common tree in the Israel region, right? In fact, most of the palm trees, they grow in Israel, or they grow in Egypt, in that region of the world. They have a lot of these trees, and they have dates that grow on these trees. But it's interesting, the Torah doesn't tell us to take the dates. It tells us to take the leaves, the palm fronds. Okay, so that's what we have. That's the second one. So we have so far. What do we have so far? The etrog, the citron fruit. Okay, citron fruit, it grows in many places in Israel. It grows. Many people believe that many of the Israeli esrogim have been sort of over the years mixed with lemons. So that's why some people choose to go to places where there are only virgin citron etrog trees, like places like Italy or Morocco. If you go to Italy, you can get the Gucci esrog. That's why it's very expensive. That's just a joke. But you can get. They have in Sicily, in a place called Calabria. Okay, they're called Calabrian estrogen. And there is a medrash somewhere actually that says the Moshe Rabbeinu sent messengers to Calabria to bring back some etrog. So that's why some people, especially Chabad, they use the Italian ones. There are some in Israel, some orchards that are from seed from Italy. They took branches from and they replanted them in Israel. But it's a good thing to get them from Israel. But this year is a little bit complicated because it was the sabbatical year. So the etrogs from Israel, it's pretty complicated, which I'm not going to get into right now, but it's just a general complication. So you have this. So the Torah says, you take this, the etrog. You take the lulav, which is the palm frond, right? And you take 4 species. We'll get to that moment short, and then that will bring you joy. As we said, joy comes from oneness. When you bring these 4 things together, you're going to be joyous. Why? Okay, big question mark. Why? And we're going to get to that now. Okay. So now let's look a little bit more. What else does the Torah tell us to take on Sukkot, to shake on Sukkot? The Torah tells us take Torah says a branch, okay, a thick branch. And so the oral tradition has it that it's the myrtle branch, okay, because it's covered with leaves the whole way. So that's myrtle. Something in Hebrew it's hadassim. So there's a nice name. Esther, her name was Hadassah, Esther of the story of Purim. But the branch that's taken is the Torah says, take to yourself a beautiful fruit, which for some reason became the etrog. That's the oral tradition as to what the beautiful fruit. Then the Torah says, take to yourself a palm frond, right? Kapos, it's called kapos timorim. It's a frond of the date tree. That's this, right? And then it says a thick branch, which the oral tradition is that it's the myrtle branch. As you see, they're like groups of 3 of these leaves, 3 leaves the whole way down. And that's considered a thick leaf. And then it mentions specifically a 4th kind, which is, and it says, and the willow of the brook, the willows of the brook, Arve Nachal, the willows of the brook. Maybe that's where the name Willowbrook comes from over here in Thornhill. We have a street called Willowbrook Road. Where does that come from? It's biblical. The willows of the brook. That's what the Torah says. These are the willows here. You see them here? These are the willow leaves, and they generally grow on the brook. As you'll see, a willow brook there's a big stream. There's a big ravine that goes through the Willow Brook area, and they have many of those many of the willow trees. Now, those willow trees are not necessarily the right kind of willow trees. It's not the preferable ones. It's the ones that actually it's the Arctic willow. It's a different kind of willow. Anyways, that's the kind of willows that we actually use. We don't use the big willow trees. They're not exactly the proper ones. But regardless, it says the willows of the creek, of the brook, right? Willows that grow on the water. So here we have 4 kinds: a fruit, frond, palm frond, myrtle branch, and willows of the river, the willows of the creek, of the brook. Willows that grow on the water is called Arve Nachal in Hebrew. Okay, so it's very interesting. So we take these and we shake them on the holiday, right? Now, you see a lot of Jews, a lot of religious Jews especially, you see them walking on Sukkot, they're walking on the street with the lulav and the etrog, and they're going, and the people of the street are looking like, what is this all about? What's going on over there? They ask you, what are you walking with over there? What are you carrying there? Oh, we carry a nice bouquet, a little, we have beautiful flowers in our bouquet, a little, palm frond, a little myrtle, a little willow. And what do you do with this bouquet that you take traditionally, which God told you to take? Oh, we go to the synagogue and we shake them. Okay. This is normal. So what is the idea of shaking the willow? So there are many explanations, and we spoke about it. That the idea is to bring all the four kinds, and many times they speak about four kinds of people, four kinds of parts. They represent different parts of the body, but it's all about creating unity, creating oneness, and that brings happiness. How does it bring happiness to us? So I saw very recently a very beautiful explanation. So in life, we're always working on the fruit. Right? We're fruit. The fruit represents our accomplishments, our achievements in life. We try to accomplish, to have the fruits of our labor. Right? We try to we plant things, and then we make fruits. Fruits is representative of the things that we sort of are able to create or tap into God's creation to create. Now, you have the fruit, but a person must realize that a fruit doesn't come in a vacuum. Your accomplishments come from somewhere. There's a system that brings the fruit. So what comes before the fruit, what surrounds the fruit on the tree, are the leaves. The leaves give a little bit shelter for the fruits. The leaves also, believe it or not, absorbs the sun, which gives the photosynthesis that creates the nutrients that the fruit needs. So the fruit needs to realize that it comes from the frond. The frond is the leaves, right? Remember the leaves, right? Don't be alone, Mr. Fruit. Yeah, you're very good. You're the accomplishment, but you wouldn't be here if not for the frond, for the leaves. And as they say in Canada, go leaves go. Right? They need a big bracha, the leaves, I tell you that. So here we go. So we have the leaves, but that's not enough. That's not enough. The leaves are not enough. You can't rely on the leaves on a good day. You can't rely on the frond itself. Where does it go back? Go back a little bit deeper. The branches. Right? So we have a symbolic branch. What represents the thick branch? Remember we said the Torah calls it a branch, right? That's important. So you have the fruit. The fruit comes from the leaf. The leaf comes from the branch, right? And then the branch connects to the tree. Where does the tree get its sustenance from? Arvei Nachal, the willow of the brook, right? Those willows that grow on the brook. So over there, you see the connection to the water. You see the connection to the water. So we go back all the way to the water. So when the Torah tells us take four kinds, Torah is telling us fruit. Don't be too excited about your fruit. Your fruit's very important. That's your beautiful accomplishment. But go trace things back. There is an ecosystem, right? It goes back to the leaf, back to the branch, back to the water that gives it sustenance. So this is very important for us to understand how everything in this world is really part of an ongoing ecosystem. God is creating the water, which gives sustenance to the tree, to the branch to the leaf, and the leaf to the fruit. And so Torah says, if you want to have really true happiness in life, don't live a life that's fragmented, that you don't see the connection between your accomplishments and the God that made you who you are. The fruit to the branch, to the leaf, to the branch, to the water, all the way back to God Himself. So if you want to have happiness, happiness lies when we realize that everything is part of a big picture. There's nothing that's that's divorced, that's separate from God. It's all part of Hashem Echad. And sometimes I remember I once sat with a woman who was dying, and she looks outside and she says, Rabbi, look at what I see outside. I see a bird that's on a tree. A bird that's on a tree. Look at that bird. She says, I don't know if I'll ever see that again.
Gary, hold on a second. Irving.
I don't know if I'll ever see that again. Yeah. The beauty of nature, the beauty of the world. What is the world? What is this beauty? It all goes back to Hashem. It's all part of the big ecosystem. It all goes back from the fruits of our labor. We go back, we trace everything back to the water which comes from God. So if you want to be happy, what's happiness? Happiness is when you realize that all the diverse forces in this world are really all one. When a family gets along with each other, when all the members of the family come together, when all the families of the world come together. Because when we realize, how do we come together? When we realize that there is something greater than all of us, and something that brought us all into existence. So that's what Judaism is all about. It's about the unity of Hashem. When we realize that there is oneness in this world, which is expressed through the etrog, the lulav, the hadassim, the aravos. It's one example of it. In the days of Sukkot, it says, "V'samachta b'chagecha," be joyous. What is happiness? It's not like they say, what is happiness? Happiness is marine land. What is happiness? It's marine land. Why is happiness? Happiness is marine, like we're saying over here. Happiness is when you realize that everything goes back to ecosystem, all the way back to the marine, which is the water. Which water? When God created the world, the whole world was submerged in water. That's the first thing that comes from God, is the water, which gives life to everything. So when we realize that's marine land, it's the marine gives life to the land, and the land gives life to the trees, and the trees to the plants, and the plants to the branches, and the branches to the leaves, and the leaves to the fruit. All one. When we paint that picture to ourselves, we're much happier. We're much happier people. And that brings about the unity of the Jewish people. It's we as Jews, we have to stand as an example of unity, the way we live our lives, not just in the symbolism of the lulav and the etrog, but every day how we live our lives amongst people. Recently they had an episode in Israel. There was an entire platoon of soldiers got together, and with their commander, they had like a get together for the holiday, before the holiday, pre Rosh Hashanah get together. This was a few weeks ago, and they got together. And what they did was they decided they're going to make a little raffle. So everybody puts in $50 into the pot. There was about 200 soldiers, and everyone will put $50 in, and they put in a ticket. And whatever the winning ticket is, will get the whole $10,000, from they came in. So one of the guys in the platoon, he was a nice, very generous guy. He was writing his name. He said, "What am I going to write my name? I mean, what are my chances of winning anyways? And might as well, there's one soldier in our platoon that really got injured a few weeks ago badly. And, I'm sure he could use the money." So instead of writing his own name, he wrote the other soldier's name on his ticket. And sure enough, they ran the raffle, and lo and behold, the commander pulls out the name and give a look. It's the injured soldier's name. So this guy felt so good, he wrote the guy's name, and he won. Anyways, his job was, after the event was over, his job was to clean up the room. that was his job, the fellow's job. And, he saw the box where all the tickets were. And he thought, "I'll give a look, let him see the names of the people and the tickets." He opens up the tickets and he couldn't believe what he saw. He saw that all the names inside were all the name of the injured soldier. In other words, every soldier in the room thought of the same thing, and they wrote down the name of the injured soldier in the. How beautiful are the Jewish people? When we're good, we're very good, and nothing can stop us. Every soldier in the room wrote down the name of the injured soldier and put it into the raffle. When we're great, we're good. When we're good, we're great. How lovely are the Jewish people. When we are in a state of unity, of achdus, of oneness, nothing can stop us. And nothing can stop that spreading to the entire world, teaching the whole world what oneness is about. And that's what Sukkot is about. And that's why Sukkot is the festival of happiness. When we're together, when we're one, when we're Kish Echad, B'Lev Echad, one nation, then happiness is to be taken for granted. For sure we'll be happy. Because when all the parts of ourself and we realize that everything comes from Hashem and everything is one, then we are a happy people. So I wish you all a good Yontif and a good Yor. And if anyone has any questions, please don't be bashful and ask the question.
I just want to say, I just learned something new today. I always learn something new, but when I came from Montreal to Toronto, the street we moved to was Willowbrook. I didn't know it had such a history.
Right. Now you know it's a biblical verse. It's a biblical verse.
I shouldn't have moved away. I should have left to stay there.
Right. But it's also green lane. It's green lane.
Yes,
green
lane.
Green. The fruits are green. Yeah, it's all connected.
Any good stories about Blackmore? That's where I am now.
We got to work on that one.
All right.
Thank you
A
very
good
much.
story.
Shabbat
Good
shalom.
Shabbos, good Yontif.
Have Sameach.
Good job, Jim.
Thank
Yontif,
you.
everybody, and
Thank you very much, Rabbi.
Shabbos, good
yeah,
Yontif.
enjoy. I hope your internet is fixed.
Yeah, temporarily, they're busy digging outside.
Okay.
Not even me, but I don't know why.
All
So
of
sorry about it. I'm sorry I missed most of it.
No. I think it's on. It's on. The classes are recorded and they show up on the YouTube channel of the shul.
Excellent.
And
Thank
also
you.
on Facebook.
Also on Facebook. Yeah, it's on Facebook for sure. It's on right now. Yeah.
But on YouTube as well.
YouTube, yeah. We have. If you
Excellent.
go onto the shul website, there's like a YouTube channel, and they put up all the classes. Sometimes
Excellent.
later or
Oh,
whatever.
great. Thank you.
Okay, very good.
Thank you. Shabbat
Thank you,
shalom,
Rabbi.
good Yontif, everybody.
Shalom.
Good Yontif to
Shabbat,
everyone.
Good Yontif to everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.